So if you're like me, anytime you go to try and do something new, what do? We head to the internet because the internet knows everything. And it's easy to find articles and tips and videos on the how-tos of the world, the how to bake, I don't know, a cake, or how to, in my case, train a puppy to, not jump up on you. So the how-to videos are super helpful. Undeniably, they're great. But I've often thought that it's also helpful to know what to avoid. So this video is a quick, super short list of the top things that I would recommend that you bear in mind as you're interviewing to avoid. So the first thing is ChatGPT is an amazing resource. I love it. I'd like to personally thank whoever came up with it with like a big warm hug and a box of cookies. But ChatGPT is not a way that you should overly rely upon for your messaging. And by that I mean a ChatGPT generated message, it sounds like a ChatGPT generated message. No matter how good the AI technology is, it's just not there yet to communicate the unique you-ness that really resonates with people. And I'll tell you this because every single day, it is one of my life's pet peeves to have an in-mail box full of sales reps trying to sell me things through what they call a drip campaign, which means a series of pre-planned, pre-timed messages that'll hit and bother and, clog up my inbox. And they're all robotically written. It just sounds so unhuman. And they try, but they don't come across as genuine at all. So here's what I know. Authenticity works. Imperfection even works. But ChatGPT robotic messaging does not work. So when you're in your job search, remember, don't rely too heavily on these AI generated messages. They're dazzling and they sound really great, but they don't sound genuine. And so that's what you need to remember is authenticity trumps perfection created by a robot. Number 2 is canned resumes. I will go to my grave telling folks that canned resumes, and by canned I mean using the same resume over and over again regardless of the position that you're applying without tailoring it. That is a surefire way to end up in the no man's land of never hearing back from anyone. Canned resumes don't work. Don't do it. Don't be lazy. If it's worth applying for, tailor that resume, right? Number 3, winging it. I really actually get to the point of such frustration with candidates who are very, very intelligent, who think that they're so smart that they don't have to actually do the hard work of preparing for the interview. They think that they're smart enough that they can just show up and talk their way through it. In fact, my favorite phrase to hear is when they say, just get me in the room, Lauren, and I'll get it from there. No, you won't. No, you won't. You'll come in as a runner-up. That's what you'll do. Because 27 years of doing this has proven to me that winging it, no matter how bright you are, does not work. And here's a tip. If presidential candidates have to be coached by teams of people, then you need to have some coaching too. It doesn't matter how smart you are. If the other candidate is more prepared than you, they're going to represent themselves better, and it shows. So you try to wing it, you're wasting their time and yours. Just don't take the interview. Just don't do it. If you're too busy to prepare for it, don't do it. Don't waste everybody's time. Number 4, not putting genuine effort into the interview. And by that, I mean, if you go to the interview with the mindset of, I'm just going to have a chat with these people, then you're not thinking about how to connect the dots on how what you have done is going to help them fix their need. And it shows. And they say in the feedback that they give to us as recruiters, well, he was nice, but just, not really a fit for us. And they don't give us anything specific because they can't put their finger on what it was that didn't really resonate well. It was the fact that you didn't actually want the job bad enough to have any kind of enthusiasm, and that lack of energy is what kind of conveyed as the what's missing piece. So just remember that if it's worth dressing up and going across town and meeting with these folks for, really put some thought into it, because you can't, you can always turn down a job, but coming in second as a runner-up is just a royal massive waste of your time. You don't want to spend months in an interview process and walk away with anything less than an incredible job offer. You want to be able to say no, but you can't say no to a job that you haven't been extended an offer letter for. So I'm all about coming in first, so that you have options to evaluate where is the best place to invest yourself for the next chapter of your career. Remember, you're writing your career story. It's not just like floating along on a river in a tube, just whatever comes your way. You really need to take the reins of your career and be intentional and deliberate and thoughtful about what you do next. That all Everything I teach, it all builds back into that. The fifth thing is just being sloppy, pure old sloppy. A resume that's poorly formatted, that has spelling errors and spacing errors. I mean, come on. At the level of which I coach candidates, that is just wildly unacceptable. So if you're sloppy, that's just going to come across as the type of work that they can expect should they hire you. It's going to be a waste of everybody's time. So don't do that. So the last piece of advice I would give you, and this is the part that kind of always breaks my heart, and I'm being serious about that, is when I get feedback that a candidate is not going to be moving forward with the offer letter and they've gotten to the very final stage, and it's because the company felt that they didn't really want the job. And then I have to communicate that back to the candidate, and the candidate says, I did want the job. I really wanted the job. It doesn't matter. You left them with the impression that you were lukewarm about it. And nobody wants to hire someone who's lukewarm about joining their team, particularly not at a high level. So you have to be very persuasive. And sometimes that's hard for people who come from maybe an engineering or finance background, that they don't get all, fired up about their communication style. It's more flat. So just remember that in the interview process, if it's a job that you actually want, let them see it on your face. Let your face and your tone convey to them the enthusiasm that you're genuinely fired up and want to be part of the team. Lukewarm is not going to get it done. Enthusiasm and genuineness gets it done. All right, I hope that helps you.